a better solution. Cause if we don't, it's gonna be a destruction upon the younger generation. We gotta find a better way to do the things we do each day, or else our kids are gonna pay. But they cannot get away. We can't keep living this way. We gotta make a change. Oh yeah. We can't keep living this way. Gotta make a change. Now when I look around the world, there's pure destruction. Youth and a young, them a pick up weapon, talking about them no respect no one, and I pull them trigger from them brother man. All the things you do, don't believe you're gonna get away, because one day, I know you're gonna pay. You can't keep living this way. You gotta make a change. Oh yeah. You can't keep living this way. You gotta make a change. I'm say fussing and fighting is no solution. You got to live good with your brother, man. You got to show love and respect, or else you're gonna get disrespect. Stop living life every day as a bad man. No walking around every day with a weapon. Because the things you do will come back to you. Remember what I'm telling you. The seed you sow is the fruit you reap. Don't always think that talk is always cheap. Yeah. This is a lesson for you to keep. All your friends and folks and family and people who love you is gonna weep for months and days and weeks now. Yeah, we gotta get together. Ow. You can't keep living this way. You gotta make a change. And everyone, one love, respect your brother, man. One lover, telling you gotta show love, and then a little get lover in a return, or else you're gonna get burned. If you refuse to learn, the table's gonna turn. If you don't learn, is that what you sow you reap?
You're listening to KPFZ 88.1 FM in Lakeport and all around the lake.
Yeah, because you don't know no idol can come on and come change what's played, because we have big people and we have fitness for face. So if you're idol, the best thing for you to do is park up and live. You know, say, steady progress this year. I and I man, they pan a straight money mission.
How simple life really was. Instead of sitting around with family, there was individuals sitting around boxes with screens, and they forgot how to grow their own food. And hunting was replaced by practices which were cruel, and everything seemed to be divided by plastic with petrochemical oil, which was extremely toxic. And these people also ran their cars on that oil, which polluted the air and the water and the soil. But the ones who benefited didn't care about the earth. They were only interested in how much the oil was worth. When they started running out, they started fighting for control to secure the world's supply. Petroleum was their goal, so they assembled their armies and their wars destroyed life. They hid the truth from the people, kept it out of their sights. And millions of people were betrayed by these lies, convinced to kill each other and watch each other die. Entire cultures were destroyed before our very eyes. We just sat around and watched the fire falling from the sky. But all the time we knew that it could happen to us. We were living in fear and we were on the same bus. By invading other people we created more enemies, but they believed that they were doing it to make themselves free. This is the world that I grew up in, so you understand my brain when it begins to spin. Searching for solutions, a better way to be, and I think much clearer when I begin to breathe. So I breathe. Breathe in the air. Yeah, take a deep breath. It's everywhere. Heal my spirit, heal my body, heal my soul. I know who I am, consciousness spinning through sacred air.
Griffin's Furniture is a proud sponsor of student and community organizations, including KPFZ Radio. Griffin's negotiates affordable pricing with major furniture manufacturers, offering weekly specials, financing, free delivery, and setup in Lake County. Fine home furnishings are available at Griffin's showroom on Lakeshore Drive in Clear Lake or online at griffinsfurniture.com.
Hello, we're back.
We never went anywhere.
We're here.
We're here.
Good morning. It's time for Lake County Magazine here on the wonderful KPFZ 88.1 FM in your broadcast range or on the internet.
Or on the internet.
Right.
Yes, and who are we?
Terry Larson.
And Pete the Tax Guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad you remembered.
Well, you were just rambling on. Morning, folks.
It's
one of those mornings.
It's okay. We like those mornings.
Yeah, she woke up bright and cheerful and full of energy, and I'm like, ugh, it's morning time. I have to get up.
Exactly. I'm sorry. So we're here, and we survived another week.
Barely, but we did.
Yeah, it was touch and go there for a while.
Always is with our lives.
Yeah.
Just never know who's around the corner waiting to...
Ambush.
That's a good word, ambush. Yes, so that was kind of a different week again, I think.
Yeah, Clear Lake changed mayors.
Yeah, we got lots of subjects, unions updates.
The union's still not back in place
No.
where they need to be with the buses.
We put out an article regarding the new manager of the economic development. So that's up on our website and on Facebook.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that a bit.
today.
And also the Clear Lake City budget if we have time.
Absolutely.
Just a brief overview to kind of make everyone
and
aware
the
of it.
sales tax that they're proposing for November's ballot.
And I'm going to start doing kind of a weekly update on the actual details of the budget by department because it's just way too much to take over and bore you all.
Good, but you'll have some kind of an overview.
Yeah, I have an overview right now. We can go through this today, so that's no problem.
Okay.
So,
And how was our week? We tried to go sailing, didn't we?
we tried to go sailing. Folks, remember I'm an accountant, so always bear that in mind when I have these little difficulties.
Not a mechanic.
I'm not a mechanic, though I can do basic stuff. So I bought a new gas can, bought a new hose to connect the gas can to the boat motor, a wonderful old 10 horsepower Honda. And the fitting...
1978.
Yeah, something like that. And the fitting that goes onto the engine for the fuel line was too big for the engine. So when I started pumping to prime it, I had fuel going everywhere on the engine. And of course, I'm not very good at jerry-rigging anything, so now I got to go back to White & Sons and have them jerry-rig the hose so I can go sailing on Sunday because we have friends coming in from Santa Rosa. So,
Yes.
one day we'll get the boat back out there
Yes.
because I'm not capable of using the oar to paddle.
One oar won't work.
I ain't going to happen. Not a 26-footer, so anyway.
Yeah.
So we didn't go boating. Saturday night, though, that was fun. Richmond Park.
Yeah, so my. That was fun. We met some people down at Richmond Park and enjoyed the lovely environment down on the deck there.
It actually is very nice there.
And the lake didn't smell bad at all.
No, it wasn't.
It was actually
And the
really
ducks were
pleasant.
there. The ducks weren't begging for food too much.
Yeah, they didn't get in your face or anything.
Yeah, so
Like-
we were having a political, non-political get-together with people we've known on Facebook. They're here locally, and some other
Yep.
people we've met in person for a couple times.
Yep.
So it was interesting.
Fun. It was fun.
What really scared the heck out of me, and I said heck because we're on radio, was that somebody actually knew who I was and knew my last name.
From Facebook.
Yeah,
was he your Facebook friend?
I guess.
Okay.
It just scared the heck out of me because no one up here really knows me that much.
Well, now that you've got Facebook friends from Lake County, they're going to know you a lot better.
Yeah, that scares me.
Well, somebody else called you Pete the Tax Guy, too.
Yeah, one guy called Pete the Tax Guy. The other one used my actual last name. Like, really? You know who I am? Well, I see you post on Facebook, but I don't post on Facebook that much. Well, I saw these. All right.
And then some of them went over to the Riviera Hills Country Club and
Afterwards.
and
Yeah.
listened to country music and
Yep.
hoedown. And
Yep.
That was, I guess, I know that band is really good.
was
They're
a-
more like country rock than
Country rock,
yeah.
absolutely. And they are a good band. They're just a little bit too loud for my eardrums these
Well,
days.
it might not have been that loud this time because they
True.
got a lot of compliments on their event page. So
That's true.
I will give them another shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wasn't excited about it Saturday night, but I'll be happy to go up there another
But
time.
that was fun Saturday night. Got
Yeah.
to know some people a little bit better.
Yeah.
Shot some pool,
Oh, yeah.
even though I did scratch on the 8-ball
And
on
I
the
think
last
it was
shot.
1-1, right?
Yes, it
Girls
was
against
one,
guys.
Yeah, girls against guys. Yes.
Yep, yep.
So we got to practice more on our own table. We got to get that.
You have to practice more. I was quite happy with the way I did.
Oh, really? Oh, God! You settle for the mundane, obviously.
Well, when I know what my competition is.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we're not going to go down that road because the listeners may not appreciate my comments. So never mind.
Okay.
So, okay. And of course, we got up early Sunday morning.
Baseball doubleheader.
I had a doubleheader against the other team that was tied for first
Double
place.
Dragons.
Now I got it.
Is that their name of?
No, the name of the Dragons.
Oh, the
Now let me tell you a little history, folks. I don't mean to bore you on this, but the Dragons consist of. This is the 55 and over division. They consist of all ex-Major League ball players or at least professional ball players. They had 6 ex-Major League ball players on the team, including a gentleman that you all would know if you follow the San Francisco Giants by the name of Rich Murray. Played outfield and I believe some first base for the Giants. They had 2 to 3 ex-Major League pitchers, and the rest of the team all played minor league ball at some level. So these guys are really good. They only lost 2 games all year so far. And in the first game, my cohort in crime pitched 8 innings. We beat them 7-6 in extra innings. This team was amazed that we, as the Seals, actually beat them. We had never beaten them before, and our team played awesome. In the second game, I pitched, and we lost 4-3. I gave up 0 earned runs. Yes, I'm bragging. And the pitcher that faced me was the ex-Major League pitcher who pitched for the Seattle Mariners for several years. And we only lost because we made a couple of base-running mental errors. And if we hadn't done that, we would have beaten them and could have swept the doubleheader. So all of a sudden, the rest of the league now is like taking notice of us because we're playing some good ball. And it was kind of interesting.
You are. I mean, I was so impressed.
Yes. I mean, the team was impressed. And again, I've talked about my team about, a couple years ago, they could barely win a game. And I came on board and kind of boosted the morale a little bit. And all of a sudden, boom, these guys got some confidence. We're playing ball. Now, what's really interesting about the Dragons, that's what my whole point was, is that the gentleman that plays in the out for them, and I don't remember his name offhand because I'm horrible with names, he is the son of the partner of Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect. And he lives out here in the Santa Rosa area in a beautiful ranch somewhere. He actually sponsors the whole team.
How nice.
So they got all brand new uniforms and bags and everything. I'm like,
Well, we got John. I mean, why doesn't he do that?
John who?
John, the
Oh,
guy that
the-
has
the-
what's the name?
the
of
Sweet
it?
Spot.
Sweet Spot,
Yeah.
downtown Santa
It's
Rosa.
a really neat sports bar. Concentrates on baseball and soccer. He's a good guy. He's become a really
And
nice
it has
gentleman.
a Belizean theme, so
Right.
the food is all kind of Caribbean oriented
Yeah.
and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so anyway, we won't ramble on. Now, if Andy's still listening in the station here, I got this. Pay attention to this, Andy. We have a bye this week because it's a holiday weekend. But the following week, we play a team called the Jazz, who we've beaten 2 games this year. And they're a good team, but we just happen to have their number for whatever reason. However, they have won 5 games in a row. And why are they winning 5 games in a row, dear?
Why did they win 5 games in a row?
Yes. Trivia question.
I have no idea.
Because they have a gentleman that has joined their team halfway through the year that actually lives on the East Coast, but has been summering out here in Santa Rosa by the name of Bill Spaceman Lee.
Okay.
And those who follow baseball,
they got a ringer.
will know exactly who Bill Spaceman Lee, and he earned his nickname very, very well besides just being a lefty. He played for the Montreal Expos for many, many years. He was a very, very good pitcher in the majors, and he is now pitching for them, and his ERA, earned run average, is like 1. So we got to face him in a couple of weeks, and that's a must-win game for us to make the playoffs. So anyway, that's enough baseball ranting, but it's kind of interesting that we're playing with a lot of ex-Major League ball players and high-level minor league ball players in these last few games for us. So that was
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
is.
you guys are playing good for people your age, excuse me. What, it's 50 what and
55 and over division.
55 and over, and you're allowed a couple of guys that are in their 40s.
we're allowed as long as they don't pitch. We're all right. They can't. If they're under
They
50,
really can't pitch?
No, they can't. If they're 50 and under, they're not
Wow.
allowed to pitch in our division. so that's about it. And then,
Oh, and didn't you get MVP, or that was a week before, right?
I made the All-Star team.
Or the
yeah.
All-Star team,
Yeah.
which is in name only right now because they don't really
Yeah,
play.
this is the first year. Of course, I made the first year I make an All-Star team. They don't have a
A
game against the other Tri-Valley League here, that's
gosh.
nearby. All the other divisions, the 25, 35, 45, had games. We didn't.
And of course, you made the team.
Of
so-
course, yes, that's the way my luck goes.
Oh well, at least it's out there that
Yep.
you're.
So
you're-
that was our weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the week was pretty quiet except for Thursday, which was the city
Oh.
council meeting.
Yep, it was. So anyway, so you want to dive into any subjects here?
Something's lighting up over here.
Really?
I guess we can take a call.
All right, there we go. All right, who's calling?
Hello, you're on the air.
Buenos días.
Hey.
Buenos dias.
Francis, how are you?
¿Cómo estás? Bien.
Bien, gracias. You too.
Are you going to play that John Trudell interview today?
Thanks for reminding me. Well, actually, we should have all the discs here. I just have to look through. them
Yeah,
and
if we
see
have
I can
time during the
find it.
break to find it, we can do that.
Dang, I put all that stuff aside because of all this crazy politics.
We haven't stopped running for weeks. We will. I promise you, we will get that next week. I'll make sure I will find it. I know. I'm sorry.
But we'll look and see if we can find it today. We'll play it today. I'll look right now if you can hand me the bag.
I got to go. So that means I got to buy a copy of this program. Is that what you're telling me?
I wouldn't recommend that because if you're not going to listen to it, we won't play it today. I'll save it for when you're actually listening.
Are they going to be available? I know you don't promote yourselves and your enterprises, but are you going to be able to sell that particular interview?
We don't really sell stuff because, we kind of respect the artists and, I don't like to make money off any contact with them like that. But if you would like, we are going to be posting it on the website.
Oh.
And so you can go there for free and look at it, and it's on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube as well.
Right, and then when we do play it next week, it'll also be on PEG TV Channel 8 Friday
Right,
night
because
from
we'll have it
9:30 to 11:30.
And Saturdays from 10 to 1.
Right.
And what about when you filmed his presentation?
Yes, we have it. We have both, and we also have Ed Begley Jr.'s speech as well.
Right.
And pretty much everybody you saw when we got there. So everybody from that point on, we got on tape pretty much, I believe. So
I've taken up enough of your time.
Oh, no
You never
worries.
take our time up, please.
You're always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Adios.
Bye. That is a big problem we have, is getting the stuff that we film out.
Well, we're fortunate. We have a couple people that are kind
Now
of
we're
working with us
fortunate, yeah.
now, and we're getting a lot of our video out a little bit faster. So
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Jerry Peterson. He is helping us right now with the editing. He has Peterson 707, I believe it's called, Productions. Peterson Production 707, I think is what it is. And he is now helping us with video, and then Megan Berger's helping us with the magazine, and we've got some other people coming on board next week
Yep.
that are going to be helping out
Yes.
as well, and everybody's volunteering. No one's getting paid, including us.
including us.
So, full disclosure here, folks. We're actually considering making it a nonprofit because I think it'd be more beneficial.
As we've talked about, we need to get hold of a certain individual
Yeah.
and get his certain individual wife on board and see if we can.
Yeah, if we can work some grants or something
Right.
else, other ways to make it profit so we can afford to pay our writers and everything.
And for training apprenticeships and stuff like that.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we do a lot of training too, so. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning. This is Scott calling.
Hey,
Scott, what's up?
How are you?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
Good,
how
thank
are
you.
Got the lake
All right.
report?
Got the lake report. I'm looking down at the lake right now. It's sort of a mix this time. We've got a little bit of the surface algae, very little, just very floating in loose areas. And then we've had quite a bit of wind and boats pretty much this week too. So there's a little bit of algae that's turbid mixed into the lake. One interesting thing that I've noted this year is that we have actually lake weeds this year. And in the past, they've not really been around because they're, kind of choked up by the algae. But this year we've got a nice little crop of lake weeds.
Really? Well, yeah, that's why they're throwing the copper sulfate pellets into the water at night to try to kill them.
Well, it's not really, well, hopefully they're not doing it right in front of our place anyway.
No, I think they're doing it in specific places. Department of Agriculture, somebody's behind it, and there could be a possible connection between the cyanobacteria and the copper sulfate. They're looking into that right now to see maybe if that increases the toxicity of the water.
Wow, wouldn't that be an interesting...
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything confirmed until the research has been done, but I guess there is some tests being done that are going to try to confirm that. So
anyway, the lake
is
super awesome for this time of year. Really,
excellent.
It is super nice. There's
Did you
very
see
little junk in the water. There's no stink at all. Really is nice.
Cool. Did you see the report that was done at the supervisor meeting, the workshop as they called it, on the satellite photos?
No, I've been working a lot lately, so I haven't been able to.
That was really interesting. It showed how there is definitely a relationship between the chlorophyll, the phosphorus, the cyanobacteria, the algae, and how it all is interrelated, and where most of it is coming from. They kind of targeted that. The only thing it couldn't show, which I think the supervisor asked them to come up with, is nitrogen levels, and also if there was any septic going in. They couldn't really see that on the slides that they had. So they're still going to get some more pictures, I guess, at different times of the year and keep pursuing that whole aspect of it just to see what's out there. And where it's
God, it just wouldn't be that hard to set up a little lab to test for these things. I'll have to look into that.
Well, Alpha Labs does cyanobacteria testing, and they test for microsystems, and they're up in Ukiah, so, I mean, they're not that far away. So it's just a matter of getting the money to do the testing, I think, is the most important thing.
Yep. All right, well, Sandy's digging out her trust.
Cool. Good.
And we'll talk to you guys later.
Great,
All right,
Scott.
man. You have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Take
Bye-bye.
Hey, no business on the air.
Sorry, didn't mean to. He brought it up, not me.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So, good people.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I want to talk a little real quickly about Robinsons.
Go for it. It's your show.
It's our show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm the husband here, remember? So I always have to take it back.
No, you don't.
Okay.
What the heck? Okay, now you're going to get me upset.
Okay. Robinson.
Aren't we a partnership?
Of course we are.
Okay.
General.
Headlines from the Record B, I believe. Yeah. Avila trial faces another delay.
Again. Jeez, this is a broken record, folks.
Health issues caused the fifth continuance in the case of the woman who was accused of embezzling money from the Elam tribe. Tracy Avila, who was set to face a jury trial today, had her case continued to October 30th after being admitted to the hospital.
October 30th? Oh, jeez.
Deputy District Attorney Rachel Abelson stated Tuesday the decision came Monday after Avila's doctor declared her unfit for trial for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Well, she does have kidney issues.
Who's the doctor?
It doesn't say. Judge Andrew Bloom asked defense attorney Justin Peterson during Avila's last hearing on October 14th to give her case priority over 2 other cases Peterson was working on this week in order to speed up her trial. She faces a single charge of grand theft stemming from allegations that she stole tens of thousands of dollars from the Elam Indian colony of Pomo Indians, Elam, while she worked for them as fiscal officer between February 2006 and September 2008. She denies any wrongdoing.
Of course she does.
Avila has been waiting trial out of court, and that's another, of course she is. Here's the latest news, and I will get this confirmed before we print it in the magazine, but the word is that they've actually cut the amount of money that the seniors are getting by half.
Correct.
And cut off the Meals on Wheels deliveries to the seniors.
Right. They have totally eliminated the Meals on Wheels program.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, I asked you that. And
What's the benefit?
Because she needs more money.
But doesn't she realize that some of those seniors could die?
Ask me if she thinks she cares. Obviously, based on her actions, it's just not there. And I know for a fact, based on the gentleman we talked to, he personally talked to the people who were getting assistance from the tribe, and he agreed that they've been told those payments have been cut in half for senior assistance. So, it's not a rumor, unfortunately.
That's too bad.
Right.
So, that's pretty shocking, I think, and again, speaks to the kind of mentality that we're dealing with over there. Now, the Robinson 8, which grew to the Robinson 9, I think, because they added in one guy after the fact. All of those cases but one have been dismissed.
Correct.
Douglas Duncan is the only case left, and it's a assault charge, and we'll see how that goes. But
When's his
the
trial
charge in October.
October.
The charge for the young lady who supposedly went after the gun was dropped. You know.
Gee, what a shock on that one was.
Yeah, and considering we were going to testify, I was going to testify as a witness, and the video kind of pretty much clearly showed what was going on in that situation anyway.
The video was very precise and clear when you went frame by frame.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, it's just very sad that our DA has nothing better to do but to pursue charges against someone who basically was doing self-defense, according to my video record of the incident, and that had not intentionally aggressed on anyone.
Right.
So the situation over there is still hot and heavy, and we're really sorry to see that it's still going on the way it is. There has to be some changes soon.
Absolutely.
You're tired of... You're tired, you said? Oh,
No.
I thought you said you're just tired.
No, I'm mumbling.
Okay. Not enough coffee this morning. Hello, you're on the air.
It's true that they have the elder money, and it's true that they have the meals, not half Meals on Wheels. They took away the Meals on Wheels and half the elder money and half the per capita also.
What do you mean by half per capita?
Their monthly payment?
Every 2 months, we would get either $350 or $400, and that was cut in half.
Okay. And did they issue any type of financial reporting to substantiate or to verify why that takes place?
Only thing they said was due to financial difficulties, we have to cut.
Hey, let me ask you this: is there based on your rules of law there? Are they required to go through some form of third-party or audit on the books?
Actually, yes, they are.
Okay.
And,
has that transpired?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't even know what's going on in that office right now.
Yeah, I know that.
But we're supposed to get financial reports as members, or we can get an appointment and go up and look up. But we never, we don't get a chance to do that.
Why? Because they won't cooperate, or you just don't have the time?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they won't cooperate, or they'll bring up an excuse that they're not very professional people. For one thing,
I wonder, are they subject to Freedom of Information Act?
I should think so.
Well, okay, we can always request.
Yeah, but again, it's like they bring up this sovereignty, tribal sovereignty and all this stuff. But I don't know if she's in a hospital or not, but some people seen her at the casino gambling, Well,
something? Somebody needs to start taking some pictures or video of her out and about and find out why she can't go to trial due to health reasons, but she's always doing her normal daily activities.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's like she's not going to court. This is, I forgot you said the 5th time or something, but this is the 37th time.
It's ridiculous.
That this court has been, postponed. 37 times she went to court.
Why is the Record B reporting 5?
Because last week on my show, I went and we brought the paper in that has all of those dates on it.
Oh, you have it?
And,
okay.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you should share that with the Record B so they can get their story straight.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I wanted to share with you that we kind of we thought about what happened at Blue Lakes over there. It wasn't the Blue Lakes Lodge. My granddaughter, my niece, and their friend was out there swimming, and they accidentally went on somebody's land right next to the Blue Lakes. And this old guy comes out there, started hollering and screaming.
No way.
Yeah, and he called them the N-word. He called them the you no good N-word, he goes to them.
Oh, my goodness.
Low-life N-word, he tells them.
Hey, maybe we can get their address so we can send them a polite letter about how to treat people. That would be really good. Well,
that's it. Me and my partner, I was going to go over there and go meet the gentleman. He's probably my age. And go talk to him, but I had anger in my heart. And my partner, I called him up and told him, and then he calls me back, and he goes, you know what, that guy probably really hates himself, he goes, and he doesn't have anybody that loves him, or he said, what we should do is go take him a gift and talk really good to him, and then let him know that was your granddaughter, he goes. So I thought about it, and I go, well, you know what, he's right.
He is.
This guy's probably lonely, and these kids, they go over there and they do that his land all the time, and maybe he does need somebody to go talk to him, in a really gentle way, and take him a gift or something, or say, we don't mean to do that, we're sorry, we'll go over there and clean it up for you or something,
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But, we're going to deal with it yet, but, they still use that word on here, though.
Yep, exactly. So thanks for...
I also wanted to thank you, man. If it wasn't for you, Terry, being there, taking that film, all 8 of them or all 9 of them still would have been going to court.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me, you.
Okay.
I swear to God,
well, they've asked me to testify on behalf of Doug, and I'm certainly going to do that as well. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you wasn't there, those kids would have still been in jail. Something would have still happened. They would still have been going to court, and, they wouldn't have had nobody. I mean, they ain't going to believe Indians at all.
No, I agree.
So
and it's my honor, and anytime anything happens like that, you've got my cell phone number, call, and we'll be there, or we'll make sure somebody has a camera there, to witness everything.
But when it happened at Blue Lakes, man, I was all upset. Well, I was going to go down there that day at the same time,
That's just tragic.
Yeah,
I called you guys up Sunday morning at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously?
Go, oh, man,
you must call the office.
I called your 408 number.
480?
480, that's Arizona, man.
I didn't get that message.
Yeah, and I was all upset. But, you got to think about things before you do something.
Yeah, you can't be reactionary.
And wait, you actually thought we would answer the phone at that hour of the morning on a Sunday? What are you, nuts? Actually, we were up because I was heading down to Santa Rosa, but that's beside the point.
Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Exactly.
All right, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Right.
Peace.
Take care.
Yes,
it's going to be one of those shows.
That's what it's all about. You got to be there for each other. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, it's me, Robert.
Hey, Robert. How are you?
Okay, I'm calling about Clayton and the issue we brought up last week about they have the Robinson Rancheria bumper sticker on all the police cars in Lakeport.
Oh, yeah. Well, they get a lot of money. It's all about the money, man. Watch it there.
My reasoning is if that's a federal issue that's being attended to by the Tribal Affairs from Washington, and that follows through being all this malicious stuff she did, then it looks like they're just her goons.
Well, unfortunately, it seems the BIA isn't interested in getting involved here whatsoever, so they don't really care what's going on. But here's my thing. We found out now that seniors are missing probably the only square meal they get every day, not being delivered to their homes. They've had their money cut in half, and yet Robinson will continue to give millions of dollars to the DA, to Lakeport PD, to the sheriff's office, to all these other law enforcement agencies who they feel they got to grease their palms.
Careful now. Careful.
Hello. How do these officers feel about taking food out of these old people's mouths? That's what I want to know. If they're saying they don't have enough money and they turn around and donate these millions of dollars to these agencies, something's wrong with
the question is, are gaming revenues down, or is she spending all her money on her attorneys and everything else?
A lot of people are boycotting, and the attorney fees.
Right. The problem.
It probably seems like justice if they have a bumper sticker like Eat at Joe's, and then there's a problem in town, and then here everybody's on their payroll. How do you have justice with such a conflict of interest?
Well, that's why you don't. And that's why people like us that come up with cameras and have witnesses are the only answer to this kind of corruption.
Onward, upward, forward together. That's the Bahamian motto.
Right on, my brother. Take care.
Isn't this normal for Lake County, though?
Hello, you're on the air.
Well, What a dismaying thing to hear on what should be a celebratory day. This is the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's speech.
Yes,
I have a dream. And to hear this intertribal disharmony going on is just so...
Their dream has turned into a nightmare,
It sure has.
as Alpha Blondie would say.
And it's just such a shame that it seems that the people that seem to be suffering the most are the ones that are willing to share the wealth of the information of their native tribes. That's just Clayton and Clan and the other, the ones that are out there doing the singing and teaching their histories and tribes, and these are the ones that seem to be getting lambasted on.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And I just do not understand, how does this lady, Avila, keep being out of court?
Well, that's what everybody's trying to understand.
This is where is the buyout? These seems like some crazy shaky numbers. And after Cheryl called in on that sticker the other day, I thought, maybe I have seen that. It looks so close to like a police motto, like serve and protect, that you don't even really notice the sticker. But that's not the point. I mean, did they just put them on there for free? Do you get free advertising like that? I mean, how much does it cost to put a bulletin board on a bus? I mean, you got to think that somewhere there had to have been some graft for that.
Yeah, maybe we need to make some inquiries.
Yeah, we have an accountant in the family.
Onward
do
and
an audit.
Said you can step hub deep in elephant poo-poo around here really quick.
Well, excuse me, I think we've been in that for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Pick your case.
Yeah, exactly.
Hang on. So hopefully look forward to seeing a lot of people come out to the fair on Friday.
Yep.
For the Lake County Can.
Okay, that's right. That's the can drive.
Yeah, 4 to 7.
Awesome.
And bring down, come on, I know many of us can share more than 4 cans of food.
Absolutely.
And then the sorting will be at the Lakeport United Methodist Church on Saturday.
Very good, very good. Thanks for letting us know.
Put that bug in everybody's ear and keep your neighbors fed.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for what you do, Alan.
Love you guys.
Thanks, man.
Peace. Hello, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm awake.
Are you? I'm not sure about that.
Well, and I'm not either, really.
Okay.
Second cup of coffee. So this delaying tactic with Robinson, it's proven that this works, as by, Derek Navarro. You stretch it out long enough and, the evidence is too old.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yep.
And that's a sad state on our judicial system. That's all it takes is just keep drawing it out and dragging it out, and then all of a sudden, everybody forgot, and it's perfectly okay. Move along, nothing to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, I said my piece.
All right, appreciate
that was quick.
It. Short and
I'll
sweet.
talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay, I hope so. Bye.
Hi. Bye.
Okay, yeah, that's just a sad state of affairs. Sad state of
It really is.
Yeah. So, another one?
Yeah, another one. It's their show, not ours. I told
know.
you that.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to get into anything else if there's somebody else ringing in. I love it. Hello, you're on the air.
I just want to correct something that a caller back said. The sorting of the Lake County canned foods is going to happen Saturday at Mendo Mills in one of their big buildings out there.
Okay.
And it starts at 9 o'clock.
At the Lakeport store?
Yes,
Okay, great. Thanks so much for letting us know.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, that's why we love our callers, getting the facts straight.
Absolutely. Keep us on our toes.
Exactly. So let's move on to the next subject.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to take that much time, but people still are caring.
No, well, Robinson's a serious issue, and it reflects directly upon the behavior of the DA and the behavior of other agencies in this county, and a lot of stuff is being gotten away with, and it just isn't. Why do you keep looking over there?
I'm trying to see, is that a 1.5 or a 5 or a 1.1?
Where?
On the internet.
here?
Yeah.
It's a 1-1.
It's a 1-1?
It was
Okay.
a 1-2.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the number to the right then?
That's the peak.
Thank you. I can't read.
Well, you're supposed to know these things by now.
I should?
You should.
Do I look like the bored dude tech type guy?
No, dear.
Thank you.
Look like an accountant.
Thank you.
Right.
Actually, I don't.
Who
But
rides
that's
a
beside the
Harley.
point.
Okay, next subject.
Next.
Let's keep rolling here.
Okay, roll. Sorry.
So we want to talk about the removal of the mayor?
Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay.
It was an interesting
The best way I can come up to describe it, and I have to give credit also to, I believe, well, I had used the term as well, but also Julie Lewis for the Outlook just recently used it in a post that she made, the debacle of the removal of the mayor.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it is a very good word.
I can't come up with a description for it because it was just so embarrassing.
It totally was embarrassing. What was really, really sad was that these people would avoid mediation and avoid sitting down and talking about the situation before making a decision.
Yeah.
They were so anxious to string Madam Mayor Jerry Spittler up by her thumbs. And the reasons that they had for doing that were so petty.
Oh, it's...
She went into a records room because she had a key, and she got... Why would they give her a key unless she had permission to go in there?
I don't want to go there.
And according to her, it was to store things. She had nothing to do with the records.
It's a storage and record room combined based on what I heard at the council meeting. So, why would you, if it's private or confidential records, why would you store it with other supplies?
And why would you give her a key?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And she comes around and goes in their break room and cleans it up. Possibly throwing away things in the fridge that had been there for
personal
months.
property. You can't throw stuff away. That's personal property. But we're probably looking at some experimental items in there, creating our own molds and
science projects.
Yeah. Been there, done that many times. My own.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it was totally embarrassing. The video has been on Channel 8, I guess, and you can watch that. We're trying to get a copy to put up as well because we did take some video of it. And we're really behind on editing, but we'll get it up as soon as we can.
I'd like to make one comment on this whole fiasco.
Yes, dear.
And I know we have a couple callers waiting, but just bear with me, guys and ladies. I've been in the corporate world for many, many years before I went into private practice. And what I witnessed, and I was there for every second of that council meeting, watching the reactions of the crowds, watching the police officers, everyone there. And here's what it boils down to. If you're going to be in politics, folks, if you're going to be in the real corporate environment world, I can't say it. You got to have thick skin. I was going to say something else, which was inappropriate. You got to have some thick skin. You cannot let your feelings be hurt. Oh, he didn't apologize right.
She raised her voice.
Oh, poor baby. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying I am the greatest thing on earth by any means, but I worked for American Airlines. I had to do budget presentations in front of the board of directors of American Airlines. Do you know what it's like to, as a 20-odd-year-old young man, sitting there and trying to present the facts and figures of your capital and operating budget, and these guys are just tearing everything apart on purpose to find out if you actually had a basis behind your process and your thinking. You can't have hurt feelings in politics, folks.
Yep.
You can't. You're not going to survive. You're not going to agree on everything. You're not going to like everyone that you work with, but deal with it.
And when you have a city council member who goes on Facebook and basically trashes his own citizens by calling them the Clear Lake Wackaloons, which is what Joey Lewis referred to the citizens of Clear Lake that came out to support Jerry Spittler.
Now, when he said that, I was watching the whole crowd, and even people who are supporters of Joey Lewis or Lewis. Lewis.
According to him.
Okay, Lewis. And people who might not have been in favor of the mayor at the time, I saw their jaws drop when someone read that. I mean, folks, really? Is that how you make political gains in your own personal life, by insulting the citizens who elect you? Come on.
Unfreaking
I mean, this
real.
whole thing was just, it was
And it wasn't
embarrassing.
just that comment. He had multiple comments. He even made a comment about us.
Of course.
Derogatory comment, a slanderous comment.
As usual.
And, you know, I just don't believe the childish levels that people are willing to go. And he got the 2 new city council women to vote with him against removing the mayor, and I'll give Joyce Overton all the credit in the world because she voted no. And to me, these 2 young ladies just took it over the top. The complaints that these people had were so petty and minor.
And that's my point.
I just don't understand how they thought it was appropriate to remove someone from a mayoral position for cleaning a break room.
And because you yelled at me.
But they didn't even say yell. They
I
said
know.
she raised her voice.
She raised her voice. Big difference, I know.
Honey, I do that every day, as
I
you
know.
Okay? It doesn't mean I'm yelling at you. I'm trying to emphasize what I'm saying.
And I'm deaf.
And he is deaf. Okay, so already
Next.
the phones are lit. Hello, we have 2 callers. Caller 1, say hello. That's caller 2. Caller 1.
Okay.
There you go.
So you're caller 1.
I'm sorry to double dip, but I just can't let this go. You know, when I think about the Clear Lake politics, I just can't even watch. It's just so ugly. And
It's embarrassing.
Completely embarrassing. And the other day I was listening to an outside newscast, and we're, of course, the butt of jokes again. You know, thank you, Clear Lake government. You know, it's as if we don't have enough things to overcome. We've got these turkeys that are trashing out a perfectly good mayor because they cleaned the break room. You know,
yeah, I just had a correction. She didn't raise her voice. She changed her tone, is
Changed
what they
her
said.
tone, sorry.
Oh, my God.
Get over it.
Come on, you guys. If you wouldn't make it 5 minutes as a contractor, I'll tell you that.
Thank you. Exactly right.
In any real-life job. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. I personally think that giving them any time whatsoever is a waste, and we should start to dissolve Clear Lake. And it doesn't have any right to exist to begin with. I mean, no one ever did any studies. No one even knows if it's viable.
And when the mayor took that to the county, they jumped all over her case, too, because she didn't discuss it with them first. Well, she went there as a citizen, bringing something forward to the county that needed to be said. And if nobody was paying attention at the city, that's not her fault. Because I know she had approached the members about this information, and nobody really cared until she went down there and made some noise about it. They didn't expect that.
Even if our Clear Lake cops were the very best in the whole wide world, you still have to somehow justify all that extra administration for only 50,000 people in a whole county. I mean, it's
the city of Clear Lake has somewhere between
15,000.
I've
According to the
heard
budget, 15,000.
that's the budget.
Right, but I'm trying to look at the county as a whole, and it's just barely even efficient the way if you just had everybody, you know, on the county police thing. That would be much more efficient than having any breaking up at all. Anyway, so not to rip on that, but
yeah, I appreciate
it's silly when you hear outside newscasts. You know, we're like the joke again. Thank God we're not Clear Lake or.
Where was the outside newscast
Yeah, where did
from?
you see that?
It was KNTY, and you know, it was sort of. It was
that
nice
TV
that they
or
could do
radio?
it, but you know, I mean, it's how do you explain to the world? Oh yeah, Clear Lake trashed out their mayor because she cleaned up the break room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How ridiculous!
How does that look to the rest of the world? Just fine. We'll be driving by Clear Lake now. Thank you.
Right. Well,
All
that's
right.
it. So thank you for that.
That's my rant.
Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
Peace. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi. 2 things. You were talking about the delays in the Avalia trial.
Yes.
Well, the Record B was reporting, I think in today's edition, that there was 5 delays. And what they were referencing there are delays of the actual trial itself, not all the sum total of all the court appearances, the hearings, the pre-trial, all that stuff going on. I know there were at least 3 delays in the hearings themselves, and it is a kind of endless string of court appearances.
Unbelievable. Another travesty.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Clayton's number of 35 total court appearances is right, because this has been going on for such an extended period of time. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is you were talking about the satellite imaging project.
Yes. And I did see your comments there yesterday as well.
Okay, apparently they didn't have much impact.
Does anything that anybody says in this county have impact on any politician? I don't see it.
Well, there's kind of two levels there. There is the public face, and then there is what you're told in private. And Denise Rushing brought this project to the board originally, and she's told me privately that the watershed analysis photos, which were the primary purpose of the project, are, quote, pretty useless.
Well, this is it. I question the usability and the amount of expense they're spending on this is.
Well, yeah, I mean, without even counting the staff time, it's $43,200
just for the pictures.
Well, yeah, just for the contract, and of course, all that money went out of county and will never be seen again.
Of course.
But you were talking about being able to identify stuff in the water, whether it's algae or phosphorus. And if you read the reports from Blue Water Satellite themselves, they say if you see sediment, well, you can assume it has, X amount of phosphorus and algae in it. You can get free Landsat photos from NASA or the USGS online. You pick out any date you want, you can pull up the photo, and you can look at it. You can see where the sediment plumes are in the lake.
Right.
You can zoom in, get all the detail you want. At the same resolution as what Blue Water offers, because it's the same satellite.
Of course, this is the thing.
So, really, they're at the point where they're just going around in circles now. They're, publicly, they're having trouble coming to terms with the fact that we wasted another year of time and we wasted, over $43,000 on this project that has no hope at all.
And we still have no answer.
Right. I mean, and they won't, because the technology just can't do what they claimed.
Right.
I mean, they made all sorts of wild claims about this, that you'd be able to tell a farmer if he was using too much fertilizer on a field. Nothing remotely like that can be done. They said, they expected to find a smoking gun. And they've had these pictures for going on 6 months now, and no smoking gun has been found. They said they'd be able to pinpoint exactly where nutrient loading was originating from in the watershed, and nothing remotely like that can be done. And now they're saying, well, we need higher resolution pictures. Well, yeah, I mean, we need a lot of stuff that we can't ever get. But
and didn't you say that right from the beginning, that 3 meters was not going to be good enough?
Well, what they're talking about in resolution is the field of view is 30 meters, and that's the maximum you can zoom it down to. And that in itself is kind of iffy as to whether that would work. But even in places that are absolutely optimal conditions for being able to measure phosphorus in the soil using this technology, it doesn't even work there. I mean, because as I pointed out, most of these pictures they've taken have been at a time when hayfields have just been prepped, or there's not enough new growth on them that it would obscure a view of the soil.
Yep.
But even in those cases, if you look at the Big Valley where there's hayfields all over the place, you couldn't differentiate between them and a vineyard and an orchard and fallow ground. It's just, you couldn't make heads or tails out of it. You couldn't even find the creeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they basically have come to a brick wall on this thing. And one of the things that really upsets me about this is that, Jim Steele has been heading up this program, and he seems to be on some sort of jihad against off-highway vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, even before they got the first picture, he was saying that this is where the problem is. coming from. It's coming from Cow Mountain. It's coming from the National Forest, where they have off-highway vehicle parks. And now he's claiming that, well, it's coming from off-highway vehicles being used on the drive rows of vineyards and orchards, which I don't know, is he including tractors, or is he just, focusing on quads and stuff like that? But anyway, the thing that's really absurd about this is that yesterday at the meeting, he points to a sediment plume in the lake on one of the photos and says, this is the result of off-highway vehicle use. Well, there's absolutely not one iota of evidence that connects that sediment plume in the lake to any off-highway vehicle use. I mean, there's nothing. Well, that's nothing more than wild speculation on Jim's part. And here's a guy that, tries to promote himself as a highly educated, highly trained, highly experienced, former DFW biologist,
right.
and he's claiming, well, this is all about using high-tech equipment to perform scientific analysis, and what does he do? He's just making wild, baseless claims, that come from nothing other than his own prejudice.
I looked at the pictures of Cow Mountain area that he was showing, and they showed no real connection of what phosphorus was that showing up there into the lake.
Well, yeah,
so
I mean...
that was just kind of a weird sidetrack.
He had even admitted on his own program that there was, quote, no evidence on the photos that showed that OHV use or pot grows were contributing to the nutrient loading in the lake.
Right.
And I mean, I don't understand how you can be so contradictory and expect to be taken seriously. I wish they'd just pull the plug on this stupid thing and move on to the next plan, because this isn't working. And, the most precious commodity that's being wasted really is time.
You're making an assumption that they actually have a next plan.
Well,
yeah.
They don't really have anything in place. There is no plan B, but they need to start developing the plan B is my point. And I've made all kinds of suggestions and offers about that as to what the next step should be. And it doesn't involve too much high-tech stuff. It's basically just doing a lot of grunt work. So, anyway, I hope the message is getting through to people that they shouldn't hang their hopes on this thing that has been proven to, be a failure and a waste of time, because we need to get on with this instead of, waiting for the contract to expire another year from now. That's absurd.
Right. Okay, well, we got to take a break, I got another caller, but thank you.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Hello, caller. We can take a quick comment.
Hi, Terry. This is Haji.
Hey, Haji. How are you?
Hi. Apparently, I'm allegedly a member of the Wackaloon Club.
Yeah, we had our official meeting the other day, didn't we?
Most famous Klingon in Lake County.
Exactly.
Anyway, I just wanted the voters in particular in Clear Lake and those in Lake County to consider some of the motives behind Joey's actions. Now, some have suggested it's one of two things, or perhaps both. One being he was trying to deliver a knockout punch of Jerry Spittler because she may be considering running for Jeff Smith's seat as supervisor.
Yeah, I don't really know that as a fact, but it could be his own paranoia.
Right.
Yeah.
And so someone as ambitious as Joey probably made a political calculation that it was wise to knock out any early contenders. So that would make sense to me that that's what he was attempting to do. And then the second thing would be to position himself to decry Sheriff Rivero should the recall effort go forward. And that's all I have to contribute. It's just something, that for those who are confused by Joey's behavior, there's probably more going on behind his behavior than they've considered. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're absolutely right. Okay, so we're going to take a real
take a
quick break. This is, you're listening to KPFZ 88.1 FM in beautiful downtown Lakeport and all around the lake. And caller that's on the line right now, if you would like to hold on, we're going to take a few minute break. Otherwise, you could call us back. Okay, you're on Lake County Magazine with Terry.
And Pete the Tax Guy.
And we'll be back in a flash.
Your heart. Now that you have seen the light, we must sing this song with one great voice. Surviving the master plan. Surviving, surviving now. Come on, people, meditate, go higher. Ghana people, make you take it, go higher. Africa, make you light my fire, and I'll burn bright. I could not believe the news today. Another hero falls in South Africa. Wipe your tears and fears away. All you children from Africa, Jamaica, sing new songs of joy and redemption. Wave your flags in in the light, we must sing this song with one great voice. Surviving the master plan. Surviving, surviving now. Surviving the master plan. Surviving, surviving now. I'm so then we do we go and take go higher. Surviving the master plan. If they fit to move I'm so then we do we go move and take go higher. Surviving the master plan. If they fit to pass I'm so then we do we go pass and take go higher. Surviving the master plan. If they fit to move I'm so then we do we go move and take go higher. Surviving the master plan. Surviving the master plan. Surviving, surviving now. Surviving the master plan. Surviving, surviving now. Surviving the master
That's what we got to figure out, how to survive the master plan. And who's behind the master plan.
Interesting.
Rocky Dawani, and one of my favorite artists from Africa. And Master Plan. Okay, so we have a caller. Maybe. I think we have a caller. I haven't heard the doot 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 yet. So I like to think they're still there. Hello, is that you? Hello, is that you? Is anybody there? Did everybody go away? Okie doke. So we'll disconnect and...
Please call back.
Please call back. So, we are back on KPFZ, and this is Lake County Magazine.
And before you, as you take that call, let's just reiterate that the mayor was removed.
Hold on.
And we need to read our...
We also need to remind everybody to please remember that the opinions expressed on this or any other KPFZ program are the opinions of the speakers and do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of KPFZ, LCCR, its members, staff, or supporters. These are the opinions and views of the speakers only. So, yes. So reiterate where we're at.
Yeah, what we're at. Yeah.
Where are we at?
We're
discussing city council.
Yes, we're talking about city council, and just to set the record straight, they did vote.
Clear Lake City Council.
Yes, they did vote to remove Mayor Spittler as mayor. She's still obviously a council person, and they put in Joyce Overton back as mayor for the balance of the term here, which is to January, I guess. So. Right.
And it's just a sad situation. We're really disappointed in the council and the way that they chose to vote. So we are just... is that better?
Much better, thank you.
We are just really saddened by the whole thing. It's created quite a disappointing situation over in the city that doesn't need any more problems. Okay. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Hi, I was reading an interesting article in the paper today.
Mm-hmm.
You want to handle that other line?
Oh, is it disconnected? Yeah, thanks. Guys got to be a little more patient. Okay, go ahead.
Calm down.
Yeah,
calm down.
Exactly. We're all so excited.
Because what's funny is there is such a class war going on right now, and that we're even blind to it, or it's so institutionalized. They have one of the most luxurious and expensive hobbies flying into Lakeport. We're talking about the condition of the lake, and it's a $665 permit for the seaplanes to crash.
Yes. Did you see that?
You know what? It should be a $2,600 permit, and they should be asked to pay it.
And explain how these people... Explain how these people need a break on $665.
Will you give me a break?
Hello.
Now, as long as we're doing recalls, I think they ought to, everybody, one of them, be lined up with blindfolds on, and we can all throw tomatoes at them.
Can't they walk the plank?
It should be a $6,000 permit. I'm hoping that was a typo, and they should be enforced to pay it.
No, it was $665, and it was waived.
I can't believe it.
Yep.
You know what they do to people for giving out free food at Library Park?
No.
You can be arrested for giving out free food to people.
What?
But they're going to waive this $665 permit to trash the beach, to plow up the lake, and to leave broken metal parts in the water so our scholars can cut their feet on them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So until we can all link arms in front of City Hall, and I also think I always think Phil should have his own show.
Absolutely.
But the truth of the matter is, he is more free to speak his mind as a listener and someone who calls in than if he had the constraints of a programmer on his back.
We don't have any restraints.
Oh, believe me, I've been in timeout 3 times. Don't tell me it can't be done. I'll show you how to do it. But listen, until we link arms in front of City Hall and keep those woodpeckers out from sitting in those privileged $52,000 a year seat while they're writing books and sitting for the bar and collecting bonds money.
Unbelievable.
So until we can do that, that's what's going to happen. They're pussyfooting around with this class division You know,
Yep.
half the people that live in downtown Lakeport are on welfare, and they're waiving a freaking $600 fee. I'll be going to Blazes. I'm going to go have put a shot of something in my coffee.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Thanks for your program. Thanks for your programming.
Thanks, Debbie.
Bye.
Thank you, and thank you for what you do.
Before we go on the next call, I gotta calm down here.
Yes.
We're talking about
the seaplane,
because of the seaplane
Splashing.
festival, whatever you
Splashing,
right?
yes.
That in order for any seaplane to land on our lake, they need a permit of
No, for this event, it was a permit event that they waived the fee on.
Okay, is that per plane or just for overall?
No, $600 total for the whole event.
Okay, I'm trying to understand.
That's why it's so absurd.
Okay, so there's no fee for a plane to land.
No.
Oh,
It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's a permit fee for the event.
And they waived this lousy.
$665. What is wrong with our leadership here? They do not understand.
I thought it was a per landing fee, and I'm going to say, wait a minute, I'm not in agreement on that one, but okay, I get it.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, my comment for today is getting back to the Clear Lake City Council is I think somebody's got their underwear too tight.
They're what do they call them? Big girl panties.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
I want to know, is anyone out there that is in favor of what occurred at the city council meeting?
Yeah,
and
does anybody really think this was a good thing to do for the city?
And that it was done in a reasonable adult fashion? I'm just curious.
Okay, we got two people. I'm looking for caller 2.
Hello.
Say hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
I guess you get caller 2, even though you're one.
Am I on now?
You are. Thank you.
Oh, hi, Terry. Hi, Peter. This is John.
Hey, John. How are you?
Hey, I know. Hey,
Long time no speak, my friend.
He didn't mean it to sound
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. No, I couldn't. Never mind.
I kind of like Debbie's enthusiasm, though, huh?
I do too. I'm ready to chain myself to the courthouse. Let's go.
But you know, I think what's going on here is really the modality in which the council members pursued their outcome, and not so much that politics in itself doesn't have these type of hidden agendas, except usually they're better well hidden, aside from them blatantly put them out.
Way blatant, yeah. Oh, it's obvious that Joey Lewis has his own agenda, and he convinced these two green politicians that have never been in the political field before to follow along with him because they had gotten their feelings hurt.
Well, that's true, but this is, that's a matter for a therapeutic circle. They should have a therapist.
This is why I recommended that they go to mediation when I spoke at the city council meeting, because that's what should have been the first point.
Well, that's kind of what it reminded me of, a recovery room with people, vomiting up all their emotion and feeling. That's why I try to make a little bit of levity, a little humor out of it.
Right.
But the bottom line is that, the councilmen and the mayor all have the respect and the power given to them, voted by the people, bestowed upon them, and so they should all act accordingly to that power.
Right.
I've never seen a group of people actually appeal to the audience more than actually focusing on the issues at hand and the legalities of those
Yeah, but
issues.
don't you think they disrespected the audience? Because by far there was more people there in support of Jerry than against her.
But that's a moot point, Terry. That's an obvious yes, of course. But see, to move forward and to go beyond this, you identify the issue that was out of control, put it to the side, and then focus back on the empowerment that they have as individuals and to get back on track. The other commentary is with Debbie regarding the event with the planes.
Yeah.
Is that they need a permit to land into the parkway there where that school used to be. So that permit fee was for them to be able to occupy that space.
Right.
The other issue is that the city councils of Lakeport, they believe that waiving the permit fee would allow them to continue to come in, which would attract the tourists who would come into town who would spend money. So they feel waiving $665 is to their advantage as they can.
Hold on, let me disconnect that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, John.
No, I understand it, but the fee is so nominal. Why is it such an issue that they have to get special waiving on it when all these... did I just cut him off? John, you're with us still? No.
Yeah, good job there, kid.
All right.
Call back, John. Sorry.
John, we'll get back to you in a sec. Hello. Somebody's on the air. I'm a little confused now.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
All right, you got two people on, don't you?
No,
you're
we
Okay,
actually
I mean-
lost one, but let me.
All right, this is Jim Steele.
Hi, Jim.
I heard some of the board meeting yesterday was mentioned, and so I was asked to call in and clarify anything, and I just wondered if there was a remaining question.
Well, I think it would be from Phil Murphy. Basically, the comments were from him, talking about the lack of real, clear, defined answers that were achieved by these pictures, and the fact that they're going after more pictures at more cost and expense to the county when we haven't even gotten any definitive answers from the ones we got. So.
Oh, I see. Well, science is like that, I guess, for some people. I looked through all of the published documents, and I've actually studied this for about 2 years now, talking to some of the original authors, Sue Chanik and Horn and others, and basically, they use grab sample types of information in order to come up with their data. And they have some very clear answers as to how the lake works in a certain respect. But this is one of the most complex, complicated lakes in the world.
Yeah.
And so no one's going to have just slam dunk black and white science. So when we went to the blue water satellite imagery, it's really to look at the lake as a whole rather than through the grab sample technology. And it told a dramatic story. And when you couple the two, the known science with what is actually seen from the satellite interpretations, it is very dramatic, it's very telling, and it's also compelling.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone to just say, I don't see it, they have to offer some reasons why not.
Right. I think it'd be really good if you and Phil maybe come on our show together and discuss this. I think we
I have
would
nothing to discuss with Phil Murphy. Listen,
Oh.
I've listened to him, and he can sit there and rant all he wants. If he wants to come on the show with some real data, and discuss that, that would be fine. Then
I would
can
love
explain
to
the
see
reason.
that. I
That's
think
fine.
that would be so, and I know a lot of people would, because a lot of people appreciate what he brings forward, and like you say, as long as he has the documentation to back his statements up, I personally have no problem in you guys coming here and duking it out.
Yeah, well, it's not a duking it out. Let me explain to you that that's not the way it's done. What you do is you bring the science forward and you talk about the science.
Right.
You don't talk at each other in a personal nature.
No.
That's just
That was
inappropriate.
just a joke. I wasn't in
Yeah.
any way suggesting that you really duke it out with him or have
I
aggressive.
heard he's taken some personal shots, and he really shouldn't be doing that. What he should be doing is looking at the science and coming up with his information. Now, he made an observation at one of the board meetings that, the satellite imagery didn't see some phosphorus-laden earth piles that he had on his property. Well, actually, we know that. It's 30-meter resolution. It's not going to pick it up.
Right.
And we're not relying very heavily on the land side of the imagery, just the water side. So.
Right. Okay. Well, I think the best solution is for you guys really to get together and bring it forward to the public. I'd love to hear that.
No, I have nothing to get together with Phil, but if he wants to be on the show at the same time and provide something for the table, I'll certainly talk about what's on the table.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, can
Peter has a
I have a question because the point was raised, or the comment was made that you stated that a lot of the problems. Again, I'm far from an expert,
Paraphrasing,
but paraphrasing here is that you said that the part of the problem was from off-road traffic from the national parks that was causing a lot of the problems.
No, what I said was it was on my personal observation that there's a lot of fine particulate sediment that is produced in off-road vehicle parks, BLM and U.S. Forest Service. There's 70,000 user days of off-road vehicle use right on BLM that's inside this watershed. So it's not a small matter. And so I asked BLM, do they have an accounting for that that dust when it rolls off into turbid water? And of course, it's all going to come towards the. Oops, I got cut off.
No, you're there.
You're
still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Right.
And I've been up there on search and rescue operations, and I've seen from. So it's not as though I don't have any information.
No.
No,
We highly respect your
But is there
perspectives.
is there scientific proof or data available that could substantiate that off-road activity would cause additional damage
we
to
have
the lake?
natural phosphorus here, it's in the dirt. So when the dirt's thrown up in the air, then it gets into the lake.
Yeah, but
well, actually, they produce dust.
And runoff.
Yeah, the dust, and then the runoff actually drains into the lake, and the levees help it get here. But here's the bottom line, and that is that we basically ask them, where is your technical data for the opposite part of that? You're supposed to be doing mitigation measures. Are you keeping it on your property? And they don't have that.
No.
Actually,
that's what makes it really difficult.
Actually, isn't there a environmental friendly product that could be sprayed down on these roads that actually keeps the dust down?
Off the air, I want to discuss that with you. There is a product that can be used for that. That's a all natural product, and it is available from very near here too, Northern California. So maybe off the air we can talk about that some more. But dust mitigation is probably the best way to deal with that issue, and products like that can help as well. Okay, well, thank you so much, and I think we'll just work on getting you guys together. And
well, if you want me on the air and you happen to have someone else here that has data, I will be glad to be on. I have no reason to talk to Phil Murphy directly unless he has some real information. I've never heard him say anything that has real information.
Okay, fair enough. I'll pass it on.
Okay,
I'm sure he's listening. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good, my friend. How are you?
Tippy Joe.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I just referring to the previous couple of callers and the caller that just called. Scientifically, it's all good and dandy, and scientifically, it's all good and dandy. But when it comes to working with the earth, you need to get into the earth to be able to realize what's going on. It's funny that none of these guys have talked about, this massive amount of logging that they did for 100 years.
Oh, yeah, they've ruined the whole...
If you in reality not know, if you're a scientist and they do not know, you cut all this timber, the first thing that happens is to completely dry the land out. That is the number one resolution, tree planting in these forests, is that they've cut all the trees off. That is the solution to that lake. You can say anything else, but there's certain things that you cannot do to the earth to keep it from drying these lakes out. It happened in Hopland when they used to grow hops. They logged all those mountains, and what did it do? It turned it into a desert. What does it do when it rains? All that settlement ends up in the lake. Right. So, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. There's nothing wrong with logging at all, but you need to learn to do it correctly. You need to plant where you cut a tree, and these mountains would keep, the water and the watershed preserved forever. But none of these guys that have talked in your radio show, especially the last caller, seems to see that, the dust of the settlement. Well, they don't realize that the logging is what caused all this.
Yeah.
The bare land has dried out these places that the earth can't take that.
Right, but that's also why he was saying that when off-road vehicles go on, they do kick up a lot of that dust.
Absolutely, and the solution to that is that for years the National Forest did do a program where they were it's the stuff made out of molasses where they put on the road, and it controls the erosion. It's environmentally safe, and it costs not that expensive to be able to coat all these roads, and it lasts us through a year's period. And it's very, very safe. You can drink the water right off the top of that stuff because it's made out of molasses. And but the main solution is the logging. They need to figure out what that these main problems. There's simple solutions to our earth, but we pay attention to everything else but the simple solutions. And the simple solutions are right in front of our face.
Right.
One study does another study, the next study does another study, and by the time you get to do something for the earth, all the money's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, that is our way.
Yeah, and we need to quit doing that. We need to quit. It's like I'm saying. It's like the lady before that. We're blaming these politicians. Well, you know what? It's about time that the people get involved. The people is the ones that make matter. No, just like it did when Martin Luther King did his march. Right. It took that amount of people to make a difference. Well, it takes that amount of people again to make a difference. We can all sit here, gripe, bitch, and complain, but until we get together, these politicians are going to keep running rampant. And so it's the people that put them in office. It's also the people that have control of it. People need to vote.
Right.
People need to vote and get involved.
That's exactly right. We're 100% with you there.
And I'm all about humanity.
Yes, you are.
All right, my brother and sister, you guys have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hello, you're on the air.
Okay, I'm back.
There you go. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I think I know what happened.
Nothing personal.
I know that. I think it must have been Jim's campaign manager there behind the board.
Whoa,
she's
come
not here.
on.
That's
here
a joke.
today.
Come on.
All
people.
right.
You know, the bottom line is this, right? We all have this incredible and, I guess, rational, I guess is one way of looking at it. Some people might think it's irrational, but we all have this fear around economic security. And a lot of these things is, you know, you heard Joe talking about, you know, the money's gone, and you hear these people waiving the permit fees, you know, the money's gone, and you hear people talking about, well, we need to have a 1% tax, you know, so we can fix our roads, and the money's gone. And everything seems to be, if we all focus on the money, I don't think any of us are really going to see the solution, because money, you know, comes and goes from wherever it was and wherever it's going to be. I mean, it has a way of moving around. The idea that we have to entrap the money or encase it or secure it is, I think, where the fear comes from. I think if everybody would sit back and look at the issues at hand, for example, Joe said it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Well, there's people that believe it takes a marine biologist scientist to discover what the problems are. And I guess to some degree you do have to have some academic training to understand what is going on in the lake. But I believe, like Joe says, it doesn't take rocket science to understand that if you've got dust particles flying around, eventually going to get into the creek beds, which are eventually going to be washed down by the rain, which are going to go through the natural wetlands that they can't go through now because they've been built on in certain parts of the Upper Lake District. So now they're trying to reclaim the wetlands. And so the process is incredibly slow, but because money is our main means of exchange, we get all worried about it. I mean, we even put interest rate on. Pardon me?
I didn't say anything. It was probably the other line.
We put interest rate on money to give it the idea that it's moving, it's going somewhere, and if we don't jump on it, we're going to lose. And I guess in a real kind of way, we do have to be responsible and accountable for our money and our economy here in Lake County. But we also should be able to think with some degree of common sense where we can separate ourselves from this whole fear of being going bankrupt. I mean, the bottom line is that if people get together and commit to a project and form, I mean, you have CLAC and you have other things, but we seem to have a problem within our structure, our political structure, where what is the best way to move in terms of how it's going to benefit Lake County as a whole. And I think when people start recognizing that we all live here together, we all suffer the same consequences. You know, I mean, there's 23% of the people that show up regularly to vote in Lake County. And that same 23% of the people seem to be getting ahead, seem to be taking advantage of the current system that's here. The question is what about the other 77%? I mean, are we actually reaching out to these people that are disenfranchised? Are we reaching out to the people that really need help and need to get involved?
Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what Jerry Spittler has been advocating, is doing a survey of the citizens of Clear Lake to find out how many. They already know 37% is below the poverty level, but they need to find out, you know, how many are, you know, getting welfare, how many aren't getting welfare. You know, they need to go look over the statistics and plan accordingly, and that's what they're not doing. They're just ignoring the citizens and doing whatever they feel they need to do, which is not necessarily in the best interests of the citizens.
It is not. It is not in the best interest, and it's evident because of the struggles we have here in Lake County that have been ongoing for 30, 40 years. So these struggles that we're having are a mirror image of what's going on internally with our own citizenry, with how people feel towards each other. You know, if I live over here in this area, then I'm better off than the people that live in this area, and the people that live in that area deserve to be in that area, because look at them, for God's sakes. I even had a political official off the record tell me, for God's sakes, they're raised by savages anyway.
Oh my God.
What kind of, I mean, it pains me to admit, to some degree, there's truth in that statement. But who created the savagery? Who created the disenfranchisement? We all, every one of us here in this county, have a calling to be accountable for what we contribute to any event we participate in, and be open in our mind to understand and take some feedback without having to feel feel like we're being filleted open and being destroyed publicly, humiliated, like you saw at the last city council meeting.
Exactly.
So my 2 cents is simply, you know what, not so much this word love, but really take accountability on how we treat each other, treat ourselves, and slow down just enough to think a little more clear on how we can really remedy this thing and not have so much fear with economic results. In other words, what if we have some sort of requirement for permitting for people or entrance fees to drive up and down the creek beds in the summertime, spitting oil out, spitting parked cars out, rubber all over the place.
Yeah.
The next rainfall we have, it washes right down into the lake. I mean, I think Jim Steele had a great point, that there is a lot of stuff going on around here that we are afraid to address because of it might break the tourist season down or lose money out of it. I got to get back to work. I'll see you guys later.
All right, John. Thank you.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, it's Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, I just want to say how cool it is to know and love all of the guy callers with different opinions. And,
Yes, it is.
Going down the list, Phil's my hero. I love to listen to him go on. Jim's a lovely person with a talent to discuss things in layman terms, who has a different opinion than Phil.
Right.
Not to ignore Hippie Joe.
Right.
Very old dear friend with a lot of insight. And
right.
John's just a worker.
Yep.
And I just think that the people would love to know which way to think on all the issues that they feel very strongly about.
Well, maybe we should get
here giving their opinion.
Yes, and you know what? If they could just chat on the radio, to set an example to our politicians on how to act.
Yep.
We're just talking about the lake, and everybody, cares about the environment. I had a very heated discussion with Joe on the road just last night. He is wonderful. His ideas are more the old school way of thinking. He may not be a scientist, but he cares. He's been here forever. And anyway, maybe you want to put them all on the radio.
I think we
They
should
are
have.
welcome anytime.
I think we should have one big, massive debate with all the parties there.
Yeah.
And
Nobody would ever
I'm
get a
just
word
being-
in
I'm being-
edgewise.
I
Come
just-
on. Okay, well, I just want to say, I love them all, and I know that they can work it out and talk on the radio.
Absolutely.
And we'll all know which way to think then.
That's
Yeah.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Terry. Good seeing you the other day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye.
Take care, bye. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, 2 things again.
Hey.
Number 1 on the seaplane splash-in.
Yes.
It's really common for events to have their encroachment fee waived, whether it's the boat races or any other organized event where a group wants to use the lake. So that's a real common practice.
Right.
And the other thing is that event is the biggest yearly fundraiser for the local 4-H, and I believe it's also the biggest event for the Sea Scouts, too, as far as fundraising goes. The 4-H puts on the barbecue there, and so it's kind of a big deal to them. This year, they're also having apparently a number of other vendors that'll be there with booths. So
Well, it's a great event. I love it, but
Well,
I just
they're
think
also-
they should contribute back, in multiple ways, not just by donating to the 4-H or whatever.
Well, like I say, it's standard procedure for any event that's coming to use the lake to get a waiver on that.
Yeah, Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not up on all the events here on this, but I thought I read somewhere that they were going to cancel this event because they, for whatever reason, they were going to move it to a different area.
Well, this is the only real event of this kind on the West Coast.
Okay.
So it's it's a really unique thing. There's very few people that can participate in this sort of event because there just aren't that many float planes and seaplanes in this area.
Right.
So it's kind of a big deal for these people to be able to get together. And there's very few places you can land a float or seaplane around here. Most people don't want to put them in the salt water, and the bay is kind of rough. And most of the other water bodies are reservoirs, and typically you're not allowed to land on reservoirs. Only natural water sources. So it's like I say, it's a really unique event. The other thing is the Amphicar people have been showing up lately there too, and I think people really enjoy seeing those cars.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
Yeah, they are awesome.
So
we love the event.
You know, I think looking at it from the standpoint of the standard practice and procedure as far as these events go, and there is definitely a discernible positive economic impact. You know, and then you have to question why is there a $650 per event use fee for the lake that supposedly we own, and as private individuals we're free to use as much as we want.
Well, that's the other half of it.
I mean, it seems like an arbitrary number that was just grabbed out of the air.
Well, I guess my point of view on this would be is, you know, do they waive the fees for everyone that has an event there? Or
Right, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much anyone who comes to town and is putting on an event. Like I say, it's done with the boat races and et cetera, all the other uses of the lake. But the other thing I wanted to mention just briefly is Jim was talking about I need to present some sort of information to support my viewpoint on the satellite photos. Well, that's not really my job, because I wasn't the one who said that, you know, this $43,000 plus should be spent on the project. I wasn't the one who claimed that it would meet specific goals, and that specific goal of this project was to identify nutrient loading sources on land. Now, you just heard Jim say that, well, we're not really looking at the land photos anymore. Well, that right there tells you that they've given up on that because they don't work. So, you know...
well, you heard what he said. Bring the documentation, and he'll debate you.
Well, I don't have to provide any documentation. He has to prove what he claimed this would do has worked, and so far he's provided zero evidence. And like I say, he continues to make unequivocal statements that he cannot support with any sort of evidence whatsoever as far as the impact of off-highway vehicles. Now, I don't know what their impact is, but I'm not going to make, you know, unequivocal statements saying that I know that they're the source or they're not the source or they're X percentage of the source, because I don't have that information and neither does he. So until he has something to back up what he's saying, you know, I think he should back away from that whole line of thought there. But you know, like I say, every claim that has been made for this has not been validated. If they can validate any of these claims they've made for this program, I'll shut up about it. But the burden of evidence is on them, because they're the ones who spent our money on this. So that's where I'm at on it.
I need to find out more, because I'm at a I wish I could comment, because I'm at a loss at all the scientific stuff. But I kind of have a tendency agreeing with you, because I don't know, if he says it's a personal observation, that's one thing. But then if he's saying that, you know, particles are going into the lake, but at what density and how's it impact? I mean, I am so oblivious to that type of stuff. I don't know what to say about it. But you know, I'd like to see some evidence and exactly how, from a scientific point of view, what the impact it is on the lake.
Well, yeah, and part of my point yesterday was that we do not have the technology, and we're not likely to in our lifetimes, to quantify that impact. You know, it's not going to exist. So we have to come to grips with that. We have to do what we can. We do the things that make sense, that we can afford, and then just hope for the best.
Right.
But like I say, we're going to never have all the precise data about everything. We just have to use common sense here and get on to something that has some promise of working, instead of just going around in circles with something that has no sign of success on it.
Right, fair enough.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Okay, so last subject. We've got about 15 minutes left here. Maybe we'll get to it, maybe we won't. Hello, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I get a few minutes?
Sure can.
Okay.
That's why you're here.
This is Mike Dunlap.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm calling about a couple of subjects that have been the subject of the show this morning.
Okay.
First of all, I'm one of the members of the Blue Water Satellite Technical Advisory Group,
Yes, sir.
and there are 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
The presentation that was made yesterday was Jim's.
Okay.
And anybody that was there, I'll let you hang up the other line.
Is it? It is still.
Hang up the other line.
Got it.
Not this one.
Nope.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, it still didn't go off. Okay, now it's off.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, a couple of points. First of all, Jim started his presentation with the caveat that these were his personal observations and did not necessarily represent the entire technical advisory group.
I see.
And they were based on his views.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the first point. The second point I would like to make is that his views don't necessarily represent everybody in the group.
Okay, but you do realize that people will assume that because you're all part of the same group, right?
How do you spell that word?
Yeah, I know how to spell it.
Yeah, thank you.
But you know how people are. So.
Well, if you want to change the subject, Terry, let's change the subject. There's a thesis that 2 people that don't know anything about a subject, that when they converse on it, they actually create a negative of information.
Sure. Well, I didn't want to
Okay.
change the subject. I actually was very interested in what you were saying regarding this, so I would like you to continue if you would.
Well, okay, I'd like to continue. I'd like to say, for the public's benefit, that this is a 24-month program, and we are but 7 months into it.
Cool.
Okay. And we, the technical advisory group, never promised anybody to have the smoking gun, nor did we promise to have the absolute answers. What we promised to do was take what we could of this technology and apply it the best way we could find to what we need to do in the lake and around the lake, in the watershed, to try and help change what's happening to the lake so that the lake has an acceptable human factor. Okay, the lake's going to do what it's going to do. The lake has its own natural course of action based on what happens around it and what's in it. We want it to be a certain way because we're humans and we want it to be acceptable to what we want to use it for. Okay, so that's a conundrum right there because the lake may not want to be acceptable to human factors. Okay? So if we want to change it, then we're going to modify what the lake naturally wants to do. We don't know if that's the case, but we're investigating. Okay? So, second, in terms of Phil's point about going off and spending more money, the whole project is a contract with Blue Water Satellite. We haven't ordered all the photographs that we're going to order yet, but we are contractually obligated over the course of 2 years to spend the total amount of the contract. And we are applying that as we see fit, trying to answer questions or address issues as we see them. Okay? So that's what the group is doing. And we're just barely a quarter of the way through it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and see, that's really important for people to be aware of.
Yeah, I really appreciate your comments and explanation because, one of the biggest things my biggest complaint about Lake County is that the government and all the committees and all the other organizations that are party to that really don't communicate to the public very well. And there's a let me just finish what I'm saying here. And so what you just stated needs to be stated more openly so people are aware of what the real project is. Now, my question to you is, why did Jim go up to the meeting yesterday and say, this is my opinion, not the committee's opinion? Why didn't he represent the committee?
Because Jim represents himself as being the scientist on the committee. And he has a different perspective of what the information is best used for than some of the rest of us do.
Okay, so I think that should have been made a lot clearer to the people
You have
watching.
some horrible background noise in the studio.
It's the other line. There's bleed through from the other line, so if they have their radio on, you're going to hear it. We don't hear it on our end, but you get to hear it.
Can you pot them down?
They are potted all the way down.
Okay.
Just bleed through that we get. It's
Yeah.
one of our technical issues here at the station.
So, but here's
not that you have any technical issues at the station.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Let me ask this question again though, because I'm confused now. Who was this? And I didn't see the whole meeting because I had other things to do yesterday. But why was
That
Jim?
sounds like a personal issue.
No, I actually run multiple businesses, and I got to make a living because I don't make money doing this job.
That sounds like a personal issue.
Yeah, it is a personal issue. All right.
It's available on tape for your review.
Yes,
I
I
know it
actually
is.
watched it.
Okay, my question is: was he there representing your committee, or was he representing himself? And you've already answered the question. He's representing himself, but why was he up there? Who asked for him to be up there to speak?
He did.
Okay, so the technical committee was not to be represented at this point.
The rest of us were sitting in the audience. None of us had anything to say. None of us had any input in the presentation.
Except Betsy, she did have some input, a little bit, not much, but
All right,
she did get up and speak.
So
the technical advisory group was appointed by the Board of Supervisors.
Right.
Okay, we are operating under the auspices of Scott DeLeon,
right,
head of the Department of Water Resources.
Right.
Okay, so we make any decisions that we make as the group in terms of what images to get and why. We give those to Scott, and Scott makes the final decision as to whether or not to write the check to buy that particular photograph. And you know, we have not had any conflicts over that in the group.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we've got a lot more work to do. And oh, by the way, we're all volunteers with the exception of Scott.
Gotcha. That's good to know. And we
Now,
appreciate that info.
That's the Blue Water Satellite.
Okay.
Now, you want to talk about seaplanes? Because I'm the guy that's been the organizer for the last few years.
By the way, we love the Splash-In. It's one of our favorite events, so I don't want you to get the wrong understanding. And that issue was brought up by a caller, not by us.
And I dearly love Debbie, but again, you know, Debbie can go off the handle pretty easily. As she said, she's managed to get herself kicked off as a programmer a few times. So you know, the bottom line is the reason that the request is made and for the waiver of the permit is we're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't. It's not like we're in this for the money. We're in it for the community. That's why we're.
Well, I think her point is these guys come in from all over. They're not exactly poor people. You could split it across the board and they wouldn't even feel it. I think that was.
They won't come in. You see, the most critical element is there needs to be some method to get from the water to the shore, and there is not a naturally occurring hard pan surface out of Clear Lake. And part of the reason is that YOLO owns the water, and the water level goes up and down every year. And so there's about 20 feet of mud at the water line that if there's not a hard surface there, most of the airplanes can't get out of the water and onto the ground.
Okay.
And if they can't get out of the water and onto the ground, they're not coming to a splash-in. They're not spending money in the county. They're not filling motel rooms and buying meals.
Yeah, but isn't that so? What you're saying is that that has to be prepared for them, so that does cost us money. That's what the fee's supposed to cover.
No, it doesn't cost you any money.
Okay.
It's all done by volunteers.
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right. Well, appreciate that.
You know,
clarity is always the best.
It's a lot of work.
Sure.
And the benefactors are the community. Phil raised it both. It's the biggest fundraiser for the 4-H.
Yep. And we love it.
We try and make sure that all of the Sea Scouts get a ride.
Yeah, that's nice. Good kids.
You know, and they, you know, so it's kind of a hand washing affair. One hand washes the other.
Well,
by the way, the reason that the fee is waived. Specifically, is two-part. One is that it's a community benefit.
Sure.
The community definitely sees a financial hit from getting it. And the other one is that the seaplane pilots have historically, over the last 3 years, this will be year number 4, we hope, had 100% compliance with the sticker program.
Excellent. Oh, that's good to hear. All right. Well,
pretty tough to. which is pretty tough to do.
Very tough,
because
yeah.
some of these planes are coming from 3 states away, and to know what their last body of water was when they leave, when they pre-register, is
Yeah,
takes some
that's
planning.
pretty important. Well, thank you. We got to go. We're out of time, but I really appreciate your information, and thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Hello, you're quickly on the air as we talk about airplanes.
And I'm here one in the background. Very quickly, and twice, Jim Steele has put it on his own observations. Listen, I've been going out to Crabtree Hot Springs and to Pillsbury Lake for the last 30 years. Since they logged it, and then after the Forks fires, if you can't take personal observations and realize how much stuff has sluiced off that poor, dry mountain range since the logging and then the further fires, it's anybody. I mean, this is simple observations.
Yep, exactly. Well,
now
there's lots of factors.
Get to the point of finding out how much phosphates are going in, I think if we do get that type of resolution, and with Blue Sky, we might be able to differentiate where the phosphates are coming from, and I'll bet it comes from the vineyards.
Well, if you'd seen the display yesterday, they did show a lot of that. We got to run though. We got one last caller. So
just a lot of sediment.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Hi, you're on the air. Quickly.
Hi, it's Olga, and I just have one thing to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Common sense gets talked about an awful lot. We all think we have it. I want to ask a provocative question. Isn't common sense what got us where we are today with the lake?
Is it common sense? I don't think it was common sense.
Well,
I don't think so.
It was somebody's version of common sense.
Well, or their own ego and agenda.
Yeah,
but they all say, but they all use that expression.
Yeah, I
common
know.
sense, right?
But there
people
hasn't
come
really
first,
been a lot of that.
Not people come first, not wildlife.
Yep. Yeah,
come
thank
first,
you.
Not natural resources. See y'all. Bye.
Okay, darling. Bye bye. Okay, squeeze it in. Hello. Quickly.
Hi, it's me again, the Exile Floridian. It seems like somebody beside the board should be deciding who's the advisory committees if they've neglected the cleanliness of the and letting all these giant groves in here with 1,500 acres and 100 pounds of fertilizer an acre.
Well, actually, so far the testing hasn't shown that any of this is caused by the big, huge growths. There was nothing that determined that.
And they take the satellite pictures after they're done doing all the spraying and the.
Well, that's the thing. That's why he said it's a 2-year program. They're going to be going over the next couple of years, and we really got to go.
Yeah, we're out of
Thank
time.
you, Robert.
Sorry.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so let me get everybody off here. I'm sorry, folks. We had to call it a day, but that's it for us here at KPFZ. You're listening to KPFZ 88.1 FM here in beautiful downtown Lower Lake, and this is Lake County Magazine. I'm Terry Larson.
And I'm Pete, the tax guy.
And we'll see you next week. We'll talk more about the road tax for Clear Lake
And the union negotiations.
and the union negotiations. There's articles on that in the magazine. You can reach us on our Facebook page, Lake County Magazine. Thanks so much for being here. Peace. Little John Trudell to take you home.
In the melting of molten, this smother of tender, embracing the tigress to caress you with yeses. I never believed in heaven. Then you put your arms around me. When you pulled me into you, I knew how happy can be. The memory of all that's good, riding these rapids of thought into the solace of the sun and ancient pull of the moon, a gathering of blessings, this briding of life in the romancing of hearts, this surrounding of clean